It is mid-July and we are ready with tips with Jan. And so Jan, you obviously have so much information. What should we be looking at this month?
Well, I've gotten quite a few questions about my zucchini blossoms. There's a lot of blossoms on it. There's no zucchini coming. The male blossoms always come first, and then they pollinate the female blossoms that come, and that's when you see the fruit. So you're going to see a longer stem is a male blossom. And we're going to look at this one right here.
Right.
This is a male blossom. See the long stem on it?
Oh, okay.
And these are going to be female blossoms. And here's one already
Oh, you see the fruit.
that has the little tiny zucchini right there.
Cool.
So it's going to be way shorter, and then a lot of times there'll be a lot of male blossoms. They'll drop off. The female blossoms haven't come yet, and then you'll end up starting to get fruit. And really, it's really never a problem to not get any zucchini. Eventually it happens. Depends on when you planted them.
Of course, of course. And
Yeah.
somebody you know has zucchini,
Yes,
so don't
exactly,
fret.
exactly.
And then you have this brugmansia here, so what's going on?
Well, first of all, it's hungry because it's a little on the yellow side, so it needs some fertilizer. But it's a really good example of if you water often, the root system of plants come to the surface. And if you water deeply and less often, they'll go lower. And this one gets watered a lot because it reacts to the heat. But it's a good example. I've put new mulch on the top layer of that, and the root system is right there. So I'm going to transplant that into a bigger pot and put maybe a couple inches of mulch on the top so it holds its water a little better. But it's like that with really anything,
right.
if you're watering. But a lot of times we've had to water often this year. But it's like if you have an irrigation system that turns on at 5 in the morning for 10 minutes, you better keep doing that and even more, because what happens is the root system, even of the grass, comes high. And then if you don't water a day or two, you're going to get browning.
Right.
So it's like that with pretty much anything.
Right. So the moral of the story is slower, deeper water.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then about identifying things that we don't know about before we do any kind of action.
Right. You have to know if what's bothering you is a disease or an insect or environmental or whatever. Try to identify the problem before you treat, because you may not have to treat at all. It may be something, if you've got browning on one leaf, pick it off. I mean, there's nothing to do other than that. There's OSU Ask an Expert. You can send any kind of questions in for that. Another question I've had is like, there's these yellow and black larvae all over my whatever. It can be a chrysanthemum, but mostly you'll see it on tansy. And tansy ragwort is an invasive, noxious weed. The cinnabar moth is black in sort of a iridescent blue, black, and red. But the larva is yellow and black. So know what you have, because those guys they've been introduced to eat the tansy, and so that'll help control that. So there's a lot of different things to just make sure you know what you have.
Right. And then what about sun scald? I mean, that's on everybody's top list these days.
Well, there's deciduous plants which lose their leaves in the fall, and a lot of those fried, but they're going to come back because they're going to lose their leaves this fall, and next spring they're going to be fine. With evergreens, you may get some south side burning. Don't prune anything yet. Those dead leaves will fall off later, and at the ends, tips of the branches, it'll green up again. So try not to do that. This is a tomato sun scald
It looks fine, sure.
Yeah, and it's going to ripen. I could take it in the house and it'll ripen even more, and just cut off the sun scald.
Right. It's not a disease.
No,
and don't
but if
worry
you
about
have a black at the bottom and not the south side, it's
blossom end rot.
It's bloody. Thanks.
And we'll talk about that soon.
Blossom end rot, and you just need more calcium when you plant.
Right. She is a wealth of information. Every week, every month that we come, we learn something new. But really, go to the OSU site. There's always information, and you can even write in questions and get your answers within just a few days. Jan, thanks so much.
You're welcome. See you next month.
Mm-hmm.